What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, our YouTube channel at Inside the Game Official, podcast services, thanks to our friends at Fired Up Network, and all those beautiful TV streaming platforms around the globe. I'm talking about Roku, Amazon Prime, Samsung Plus, Jinx Esports TV, ESTV, and a whole lot more. Scott, we got some pretty hot topics today, my friend. What are we talking about?
That's right, starting off with the confirmation of Jedi Survivor's next game, and I don't know if anybody's upset about that. Payday 3's CEO has apologized for its launch. I'm upset about that myself. Sea A Thieves has gone solo, and Embracer strikes again.
Yes, they did. But first up, let's talk about Jedi Survivor. Scott, topic number one's a hot one, and should really come as no surprise as the third Star Wars Jedi game is confirmed by the Cal Kestis actor himself, Cameron Monaghan. This is over with Jody McGregor over at PC Gamer. During a recent panel over at Comic-Con in Florida, Cameron Monaghan, who plays Cal Kestis in the Star Wars Jedi video games, confirmed that a third one is in the works. At the end of the panel, near the 43-minute mark of a fan-recorded video, Monaghan said, quote, "We're working on the third. We're in the process of doing that right now." So that's a big undertaking, and has been some conversations so far, but hopefully when all things are said and done, we'll be able to go in and make something really cool for you guys again, end quote. Scott, do you think you're supposed to say that?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something you're allowed to mention out loud if you're this actor. No. Is he immune from repercussions? He is Cal Kestis.
Well, he is after all, right? Yeah, maybe he'll just use the Force on them. This was recorded on September 16th, just days after it was reported that Stig, who directed the Jedi games, was leaving Respawn Entertainment. Stig previously said that he envisioned the Jedi games as a series from the start, telling IGN, quote, "I always wanted to see this as a trilogy," end quote. There is a certain precedent in the market for a Star Wars trilogy. Scott, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I think, did extremely well. Where do we take Cal's story next?
Yeah, I'm wondering. I've seen some conversation online already about this, saying the third game should be Return of the Jedi, which would be an excellent name, but it's already taken by the movie.
Yeah.
My idea is that we go back to the original naming of the movie, Revenge of the Jedi, and this is where we see Cal Kestis really come back with fury.
Well, it was funny because he played with the dark side in Survivor, right? He was getting a little nervous getting into this point of, hey, I'm getting a little consumed by this power, this force. Where does it go next? He's able to kind of hone it in, but dude, what if they do take it to the dark side? What if they take Cal to the other side? And all of a sudden now we have a different angle to play on. It kind of reminds me of what's coming up with Spider-Man, right? He's getting the symbiote suit going on, and he kind of gets that taste of venom in him, in a sense. And we're going to play off of that, I'm sure, at some point where we have to pull Peter Parker back in as Miles. And I wonder if we can get that sort of story, or is that more of like a copycat kind of thing than with Cal?
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm not sure how many things there are left undone in this series. I think dark side might actually be the only viable route.
I'm definitely curious to see where they take it. There's a lot of verticality. Dude, Survivor was a fantastic game. Jedi Survivor, I think, was extremely well represented and done to a almost perfect pitch this year. I had some bugs, some crashes, some issues. It was unfortunate. It really kind of held that back. But the game itself, dude, the verticality, the level design, I still don't think there's a level design that's matched it this year that I've loved so much compared to Jedi Survivor. It was that fun. It's hard to believe that was this year, isn't it?
It really is. It's been such a blur of games coming out. I don't want to forget about that one, though.
No.
The level design was great. It was a Metroidvania inspired kind of, each time you come back to a new area, you have a new device to get you further. That's something I love in games.
Absolutely. So with Jedi Survivor, they also took it kind of a bit more open compared to Jedi Fallen Order. So when we got into the second one, the level design changed a little bit, right? It changed as far as the scope goes, where you had more freedom, I felt like, to roam around, but it wasn't a complete open world situation. Is that where the next one goes to? Are you worried about that at all, Scott?
Yeah, maybe there's going to be more planets to jump around to. I do recall that happening more in the first game. Oh boy, yeah, there's a whole lot to measure up to. The bar has been raised significantly.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of questions. Is it a little concerning though that Stig, who was kind of heading up the project, left? What are we getting? Who's replacing Stig? Where do we go next? What does that mean then for the series? What does that mean for the trilogy overall? Because normally you have somebody who works right through them all. But do you think his part was done and he's like, okay, I'm just out?
Hopefully that's the case. I hope this doesn't result in too much of a change from the overall product, or I hope it's not indicative of some sort of issue behind the studio.
Yeah.
Stig has to leave now. The security is a little lower. Cal Kestis here giving away secrets. Hopefully that's not a sign of trouble.
No, I think there's gonna be a lot of hype. Obviously, now granted, if we had Survivor this year, we're still ways off from getting anything when it comes to the trilogy. I wonder how many assets they're going to enhance and kind of repurpose to get us to the next one sooner than later. What do you think? Maybe 3-4 years, Scott? Possibility?
Yeah, I would expect about 4 years. I think that's kind of typical now of the big releases like this. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't think there's anything to indicate that Cameron Monaghan has been recording lines at this point.
Yeah.
Just that he's aware that there is some preamble work happening.
Third one. It shouldn't come as a surprise, though. I wasn't too shocked to see that there was a third one in development. That just makes total sense. Fallen Order did great. Jedi Survivor did even better. And now, of course, we're going to get a third one. Especially the way kind of it ends off in a sweet spot for opportunity. And that's kind of where I'll leave that, Scott. Have you finished it yet?
No. I got really far and then pulled away. I can't recall the last thing I had done on it.
Too many games.
A very large battle. Huge scale. That's what I recall.
Fair. Well, that's, yeah, okay. No, man, really? I know where you are. Wow. Yeah. Dude, you should go back. You're not really that far off at this point. You're so close. It's one of those things. But, dude, there's just so many games out, especially this year alone. 2023, dude, has got to be one of the best years in gaming, right?
It has to be, yeah. I've seen it compared to 2001, but I don't remember back then.
I don't know, man. So many big budget games hitting this year. It's been incredible, and I cannot wait to see where they take the next Jedi game. Scott, topic number 2 is something that you and I have been trying to do. It is Payday 3. That's right. We've been trying to get in, and I say trying because, well, the launch is so flawed that the CEO has even apologized. Oh, buddy.
Oh, that's not supposed to be his job.
No. That's a rough launch if I've ever heard of one. Grant Taylor-Hill over at Insider Gaming. Taking firm ownership of his company's product by his sojourn, the CEO of Starbreeze has taken to social media to express an apology for the awful state that Payday 3 has released in. It was just 2 days that the game hit the market, including launching on Game Pass, and it has promptly suffered immeasurably with connectivity and network issues, blocking some players from being able to run a single heist. It has been horrendous, Scott, to try and get onto this thing, but we'll get to that in a second. There's one huge takeaway from this, and it's the fact that in July this year, Starbreeze pivoted to an always online operating model, pleasing fans to no end. It seems that this decision has well and truly come back to bite them, as needing to always be connected is what's preventing players from enjoying the game they've waited for a decade for. Quote, "It's impossible to prepare." In his statement released on Twitter, stressed that, quote, "It's impossible to prepare for every scenario, but Starbreeze should be able to do better," end quote. He explained that they will work tirelessly to fix Payday 3, but with reviews crashing across the board, the damage is being done, and fast. On Steam, a swarm of negative reviews has pushed the game to a mostly negative rating, and that's with 16,000 reviews, Scott. It was over a decade ago that Payday 2 was released, and it became a cult classic title with no issues. Funny how that works. It's still being played when Payday 3 was released. That tells you what's going on right there. People can't play Payday 3, Scott. We've tried to jump in. Dude, we're over on Game Pass, and there's still issues. We can't get connected.
Oh, I've had an issue even before that. There was one time we were all getting connected, but I couldn't because I had to just struggle with this online app to connect my account to my gamer tag to enable some sort of crossplay that I don't want. and that would have been easy if it just had auto filled in and made me an account, but it did not. And I lost 30 minutes, 40 minutes trying to mess around with my cell phone, getting to connect to the game. And by the end of it, everybody else had moved on. I finally got in. And then we try and hook up yesterday to play some more, and same issue. Everybody's having an issue connecting. It's incredible, because I just want to get inside and experience what Payday is, because it's been so popular for so long. I can't even comment on the state of the game that is out when you get to play it.
So I played 2 heists, and let me tell you, it took us 2 hours to get in. Like it was horrendous to get into this thing. The only way we could actually get into a lobby is to find a party of 4 friends hooked up and get in that way, so we didn't have to worry about trying to find somebody else to connect to. That's the only way we were able to get in. And with that, by that time though, dude, it's already late in the night. I'm like, yo, I just want to play a heist. Like, I was frustrated. We got codes, so we're trying to get this for review too. But at the same time, everybody else playing with at this point has it on Game Pass, and we're trying to play it that way. Just connect, and then to get set up on the Starbreeze, go to the website, fill out this. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why can't I just, I turn on my Xbox, I jump into the game, and I play the game? Nope.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, what a jumbled mess. And it sucks, because so many people, after a decade playing Payday 2 and hearing about all that hype, getting in there, seeing previews of Payday 3 go out, seeing all the news, all the trailers, I'm like, yo, we roll with a 4-man crew on this. This is gonna be a blast. Can't even get in. Like, it's just irritating, it's frustrating. And this is us from the consumer side, right? You get on their side over on Starbreeze, the CEO has to be frustrated, right? The team working on this has to be frustrated as well. They just want people to play their game that they've worked tirelessly to get accomplished, to get out for everybody, and then all of a sudden it goes out, nobody can play. All of a sudden now it gets bombarded with negative reviews because nobody can play, which is granted, right? But at the same time, it's not the launch they wanted. And we talked about so many releases, especially with an online component, never work out the gate. Here we are again.
I hope this is a lesson across the industry. Is just, maybe we don't need to do always online. Maybe we can find a better way.
There's got to be something, right? Payday 2 wasn't always online, and people were still playing that, and with no issues. And then all of a sudden, now we get into Payday 3, and now there's issues right out the wazoo. Dude, it's just nuts. Remember, but again, one of the biggest studios around, Rockstar, puts out GTA 5 online, right? Can't play that at launch. Dude, it was months before we actually get into that game.
Yeah.
So
it was at least a quarter of a year. That did take a long time to fix.
Yeah.
But it was worth it in the end.
Well, it was worth it in the end, and that's kind of what my hope is for Starbreeze, and that we can get, it'll be worth it in the end when we get online, right? Jumping through that hoop, though, of just trying to register for Starbreeze so I can be connected to PC, it's a co-op game. Here's the biggest thing. This is why they want you to do it, because they want you to have that cross-play functionality, because it keeps the community alive. This is a co-op game. They have a long-term plan. The problem is it's now been delayed because of these issues. But they want to have everybody be able to go on and play and hang out together. Whether it's PC, Xbox, PlayStation, like, it doesn't matter, right? They just want everybody to be able to go in and enjoy. The thing is, I went in, signed up, and turned off crossplay. Like, I'm just going to hang out with my friends on Xbox, and we'll play that way. We got a friend, Lucas, who wants to play, but he's on PC. So we'll let him in, I guess, once in a while, and he'll be able to join us that way. But again, it's just one of those things. They want to keep the community alive. How do you do that? You allow it to go everywhere. But I still didn't have such a hiccup even when I was playing Fortnite. And that went across mobile and PC to console.
Yeah, it seems like it's been done in a better way before.
I just couldn't believe the hiccups to try and just get into the game alone, just to find out it couldn't work. So hopefully...
I've not been frustrated at a login in so long. Trying to get that account to work was just a blindingly angering moment.
Absolutely. And then Bing shows up on my TV screen. I'm like, what is that? What am I doing here? Why am I going this way?
That was the first sign of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when it kicks me out of the game and into a website on my Xbox, that's never a good sign. So yeah, unfortunately, that was a hiccup and a half. But here we go. Maybe this week we'll get to play it. Only time will tell. We'll keep you posted, though. Scott, speaking of online, 5 years after launch, Sea A Thieves is finally going solo. Wesley Yimple at IGN.
We're coming to a resolution on these internet problems here.
That's right. Ever since Rare's multiplayer-focused pirate adventure game launched in 2018, the developers have faced questions about the addition of solo play. Now, it's coming. Finally. That's right, part of Season 10 in December. Finally, you won't have to worry about rival pirates stealing your hard-earned treasure. Now play, we recognize that for some players, a quieter, more independent experience can be preferable, and said Chapman. Quote, that's why in December, Season 10's third major feature will introduce an entirely new game mode that grants players the ability to sail in Sea A Thieves alone or with a crew of friends within their own private game session. Scott, what are your thoughts on this one?
This is something that's we play GTA Online. We'll do a private lobby a lot of the time, and although I used to be quite critical of that, I can see the frustration. And when you just want to get in and sail around, I could see why this would work out for a lot of people.
No, absolutely. We jump into GTA with a private session because at the end of the day, sometimes, dude, I just want to jump in for 5 minutes, roll over to the casino, spin the wheel, and then bounce out. Instead, halfway over, I get bombarded and I'm shot in my car. I'm like,
a hover bike.
Well, yeah, the hover bike is one of the worst things, right? And this is something that's been requested for Sea A Thieves, dude, right from the beginning. Because some people just, their whole purpose of this is just to troll. Which, granted, dude, is just being a pirate. So I understand it, but I can also appreciate the private server getting out there. I know because I was talking to Kyle, a good friend of ours from the show, who's like, yo, you see this? I'm like, yo, did you see this? Let's go. And we're just going to go out and have a good time. When you jump into Monkey Island DLC, right, that story arc puts you out on your own quest, private, away from everybody else, so you can experience the story. Here, if you just want to go grab a couple chests because you only have a few minutes, the last thing you want to do is get halfway across your sailing mission to then get bombarded by another crew and not be able to get your job done. And I'm only like, I got 10-15 minutes, maybe I can go do something quick, get in there, get out. Instead, your whole experience is squandered because somebody just nailed you with a cannonball. But again, that's the game.
Yeah, because of the nature of the game, being a pirate, I know that's where I would find myself, is trying to rob somebody else as they go to cash it in. But that's all that I'm interested in doing in this game, so I can understand the flip side of that. If you just want to play with some friends, just gather some things.
Absolutely.
At least this will allow you to do that.
Well, it says here, solo play comes as part of a Safer Seas feature. It's intended to offer a gentler introduction to Sea A Thieves for new players, as well as a quieter map for existing players who want to play on their own solo adventures. Quote, if you're hoping to get some peaceful fishing done or complete a few tall tales without interference, Safer Seas is the perfect choice, end quote. Chapman continued. All applicable accommodations can be progressed in this game mode, so you're not going to lose any of those progression quests that you want to get out there and you want to fill, like the Sears quest, or just go treasure hunting. You can fill that faction, I'll call them, in a sense, right? So at least all that kind of progresses over. You're not losing anything by going in solo. You can still progress through the game. And at this point, there is so much in Sea A Thieves, and this gets back to one of the other situations, Scott. Online, continuous play, games of service model, right? I think Sea A Thieves has been able to find their sea legs and just continue with this game after month after month after year. There, what did we see last time? 20-30 million players are playing this now. Like, dude,
oh, an incredible number.
Absolutely.
For a 5-year-old game, it still goes just as strong.
Yeah, it's incredible. I jump back in every once in a while, and now that there's solo mode, it's time consuming, Scott, is the biggest thing, right? How much time do you have every day to jump into some of these models? And there's always new games coming out too that want to take your time, especially in the multiplayer side of things. The Division 3 announced quietly from Ubisoft, but it was announced, right? One of those online components where you go out there with your friends, again, grind out each and every day. We just came off the first Descendant open beta, sorry. And that was another one of those, like, yo, this is going to be like that Destiny experience where you jump in with your friends. Like, my brother and I were almost there every single day doing stuff. It was the weekend, so we were out partying and then came back into the game. So it's just, dude, it's like one of those things. You jump in, Here's your quest. Go get your quest for the day. Kind of like, again, going back to Red Dead. There's the daily quests. There's like 20 daily quests you can go do. You keep coming back, keep coming back. Sea Thieves, no different. They want you to keep coming back. And they keep producing more and more content. It's not stale content. It is fresh content. And you jump in now, as a new player, you're going to be overwhelmed as to what to do. So I think having this solo feature is pretty welcoming and a good way to introduce players to get into the world of Sea A Thieves. Because I know my son and I went out the other day. I say the other day, do this like 2 months ago. But as we jump in, he goes, "Dad, who's this ship?" I said, "Those are other players." And, right, we're just in a little sloop, and we got nailed by a galleon. Like, dude, we can't compete with that. So if we're gonna go out just the two of us, then we'll just go and chill and have a good time and grab some treasure, help boost up his character, right, and get some more loot, get some more gear, and away we go. So no, I like this edition. Pretty happy.
I think it's a good idea. There's a huge amount of content to explore, and this will allow a lot more people to play it.
That's right. And the Legend of Monkey Island is there too. So I gotta jump back into that one, man. Dude, my backlog, Scott, my backlog is incredible.
Oh, Games with a Service is done correctly a few times, and this is certainly one of the good examples.
Absolutely. Scott, Embracer Group strikes again, my friend. 26 staff have been laid off from Beamdog. If that sounds a little unusual because you don't know who Beamdog is, we'll get you caught up here real fast. This is Jody McGregor over at PC Gamer. Beamdog, the studio founded by former BioWare developers Trent Oster and Cameron Toffer, is best known for, well, CRPGs like the Baldur's Gate 2, Planescape, Torment. Dude, they've got some massive titles. And most recently, Scott, here's the biggest killer, man. Mythforce. You and Corey actually reviewed this for the show. It is a cross between Vermintide with the look of He-Man cartoon. Yo, the art style was cool. It was super killer. But they've been hit once again. They've had to lay off 26 of their staff. And this is unfortunate because, dude, you've only got chapter 1 finished. And now they're already coming up short. Over on LinkedIn, Jill Hollett posted this. Quote, regrettably, as part of the Embracer Group's ongoing restructuring initiative, Beamdog made the difficult decision to release 26 employees, myself among them. I am incredibly grateful to them for affording me the opportunity to embark upon my professional journey in the industry. It has been an honor to collaborate with such exceptional individuals during my time. End quote. Scott, dude, this is, man, here we go. Embracer continuing to lay off people. I don't think they're done. This is a problem.
Yeah, is Embracer Group ironically named for such a cold, touching company? This is not a good track record.
Not at all. But we'll keep everybody posted with the continuations of Embracer. Scott, it's a quiet day on a Monday. There's only a couple games out today. What are we playing?
We have Robo-Dunk on PC and Switch, and Project Planet Earth vs. Humanity on PC.
There we go. And that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Drew. That's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.